Welcome back, guys. Today, people have been asking me, how do I make my tunes? So I'm going to show you. They're asking for tunes for dummies. So shout out to my sponsor. You're up on the screen. If you want to win $11 million, subscribe, hit that like button, leave a comment. We do a draw every Monday for $11 million. And there's a drift challenge going on as well for $11 million. Links are in the description for all that. Now, we are going to pick the so-called fastest car in the game for drag racing, which is the F1 Gp Mclaren. We're going to get in it. We're going to tune it. We're going to race it. We're going to see how much difference my tune will actually make. I'm kind of interested myself. So, welcome to Tune for Dummies. Let's stay tuned. To make this fair, we're going to leave it all the way it is now. I'm not going to play with manual. I'm not going to play with automatic. It's going to be an automatic so you guys can see the difference each time. Ooh, she likes to spin out of the hole. So you see right off the bat, I don't know what my driver tires are, but actually I'm not even going to place on this one. That is a pretty bad one. So, as you see, we crossed the finish line. We weren't going all that fast, but this is a good base run. We ran a 16.383. Isn't bad for a stock car, but that's what gives us what we're going to start off with. Now, the biggest thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to now modify the car, which I'll show you guys. We'll find the best modifications we're going to suit for a drag car. And then we're going to do another baseline. And then we're going to see how we can make out baseline to baseline after modifying it. And then we're going to have to dial the car in from there. So hopefully the next run should be way better. So stay tuned, guys. And we're going to jump over to the repair shop. Modification shop. Modification shop sounds better. So here we go. So here we go. We have the tunes. What we're going to do, I really don't know yet. So I'm just going to it's going to be a drag car. I like the idea of all-wheel drive. I know the top speed, wow, it goes way down. Let's leave that to last. Let's see how we can do everything else. We definitely need a big old turbo. Yeah, I like the idea. I never did see what the, let's see here. 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds. 3.2, so the turbos don't really do that much of a difference. 0.02 of a second. Okay, so I wonder what it's going to do for the quarter-mile time if we were to do 2.3 seconds difference. Maybe I should do that because we want the 0 to 60 and the 0 to 100 to be crazy because we want it to be able to do it so we can do the drag. This is all about drag racing. We're going to do adjustable for the downforce. I don't even want to put a wing on it because the wings make it look stupid. And it doesn't do nothing other than handling and braking. And this is a straight out drag car, so I don't care about any of that. Now, tire compound. Let's take a peek here. So, we start off with 2.3 right off the bat. Sport compound gives us faster. And you got to check these out sometimes. Wow, look at that. Race tire puts us at 1.7. But our 0 to 100 is worse? No, it's better. Now, my Lamborghini, the stock ones were the best. So you got to make sure you go through here and you look at it. So 1.5 and a 4.1. Let's see what the race was. It was, I think that's probably the best by the looks of it. Yeah, so we're going to go with an all-out drag radial. Like I said, it's good that you guys check that because sometimes that's not the case. So if we go wider tires, it's going to put the power to the ground. It's just common sense. Same with the rear. Wider tires will put the power to the ground. That's what we're going to want. Now, rims. I'm going to go with a nice weld racing rim. There's a reason why I picked welds for my drag cars. Because, if you see here, that one's plus 23 pounds. That is crazy rotating mass. We don't want rotating mass. We want something that's lightweight to help us. So, if I went with this, it's a 1.5 and a 4.1. And if I went with something heavier, 1.5 for 4.2. You see the difference? I'm losing seconds over the quarter mile. So I'm going to pick myself a nice set of weld racing rims. Unfortunately, I think the dish might look nice. The black looks cool, but I have that on a lot of cars. So here we go. We are going with a weld racing rim because that is what you guys should be doing for any drag car. Now, next thing. Tire size. I don't think it's going to matter too much. Again, you want to stay away from rotating mass, which means if you have a heavy rim right there, it's going to be always, it's going to take more for you to turn it. So if I go here and check 1.5, 4.1, that's the same. Bigger isn't better in this situation. If we were doing a rally car or a street car or something, bigger would be a little better because you have more tire to the ground. Now the back should be bigger, a 335, 25. That's like a 30, oh God, a 32-inch tire. That's a big rear tire. Now this is all-wheel drive, so technically I shouldn't stagger it, but I really don't care. I can do what I'd like. I definitely like it farther out, but that doesn't really do much of anything other than looks, which I'm fine with. Okay, there's tires. Now, for this situation, I am going to go all out with everything. So we will be back for tuning. Now, I said that we were done and I was just going to upgrade this fully, but here's something you got to see. No intercooler. I can run a 1.30 to 60 and a 2.90 to 100. That's quick. Now, watch my times though. Add an intercooler, I'm losing. See? I am losing milliseconds. So keep that in mind. Yes, I'm gaining power, but I am losing milliseconds. I ain't going to touch it. So that's one thing you always want to check. So right here, stock oiling, if I go here, it stays the same, gives me 7 horsepower. That isn't bad. But those are things you need to look when you're looking about tuning your car, is you want to make sure that it's not going to affect anything other than going down. If it ain't going down, you don't need it. So make sure, since I didn't show you everything I did on this one, if you want, make sure you download the tune on this, because this is going to be a crazy setup. How do I know this? Because I know what it's going to be. It's going to be a beast, all out drag car. So keep that in mind. We'll come back, we'll do the base run at the strip, and then we'll start tuning and dialing it in. So once we get this on the racetrack, guys, remember the original time was 16.383. Now obviously we're going to beat that because we are now modified, extremely modified, but we want a baseline of modifications before I tune it. So let's see what this is all about now. Make sure you guys download the tune if you guys want to give this a try before we start tuning, but let's find out. This car should launch out of the hole hard, which it does, a little bit to the left, a little bit of rub, so kind of not fair. But you see, they're not going to have any chance at me. I'm going to top the car out. So the car topped out at 224 miles per hour just towards the finish line. I ran 11.445, so I am decreasing my time greatly. Now I need to adjust my final ratio, so I'm not redlining towards the end. So I'm going to bring my final ratio down some, and then I'll do a couple practice runs to see what my RPM is topping out at, or I should see my speeds topping out at towards the end of the track. So stay tuned and we'll play around with that. Now you guys have to remember there's no set formula here. You got to take your time, watch your numbers. So I'm going to reduce my final drive, which is going to give me more top end. Now, I'm going to say this now for the people that might be still watching. If you're doing it for this one drag strip, you got to remember this is a longer drag strip than the one at the festival. So, you know, you're going to have to play around with it some more. So this is just a hit. Now I'm just doing a couple of test passes up and down the track to see if I'm topping out. So you see this time I'm now topping out at 229, which would probably be pretty decent because I think I started before the line. So I'm going to try it again. I can play around with my numbers a little more. So I'm going back in. I'm going to drop my final drive down a little more as I'm watching my 0 to 60. My 0 to 60 is 1.42 and 0 to 100 is 3.040. So I went down a little bit more. It stayed the same for my 0 to 60 and 0 to 100. I'm going to do another pull to see where it's putting me at. I don't want to be redlining going, 100 feet before the finish line because obviously I'm losing steam. I know I can coast across the finish line redlining, but that's not what I want. I want a quick car that's hard to touch. So as you see here, I'm now going. Now I'm not redlining until about
234, so that's pretty decent. Let's try it in a race and see what we run in the quarter mile this time. I don't know if this is even a quarter mile. I think it's longer than a quarter mile, but we're on the same track the whole time. So here we go, out of the hole. It launches good, a little to the left, but not much. So that's good that way. And it looks like we're probably not gonna. So 234. I think we just hit top speed as we cross. So I can live with that. So it was 11.378. That's pretty decent. Now I'm going to do the rest of the tuning. I want to adjust my tires, and I'm probably going to drive my final drive down just a little bit more, just to see if it's going to affect my 0 to 60, my 0 to 100. That's all I'm doing is I'm trying to get my 0 to 60 faster, my 0 to 100 faster. It's good for going across this drag strip because I'm not really topping out until the end. So that's all I'm doing is fine tuning my 0 to 100 and 0 to 60. Now that I've done that, I'm going to do another pass to see how I'm doing. So it takes a lot of time to go passes in and out. And I still haven't tuned yet anything other than my final drive. So here we go. It's moving out pretty quickly. And my top end is still good. So now I'm topping out at 237, crossing the finish line. So I think it's pretty well dialed in for top speed. I'm now 11.345. So I'm pretty sure my time is still going down each time. So now it's time to dial in everything else. And this is a good time for you guys to watch my 0 to 60 and 0 to 100. So first thing you're going to do is your tires. You want low pressure all the way around, front and rear. That way you've got the traction. It's going to suck for driving. It's going to suck for turning, guys. So this is a drag car only, drag car tune. You see my 0 to 60 and 0 to 100 times went down dramatically. 1.40, 3.04, and then when you go down, it will drop it down dramatically. That's what we want. We want a fast 0 to 60 and 0 to 100. You got to think, we're only going drag racing, so it's not going to be a top end. It's all going to be launch and acceleration and torque. That's what you want. Unfortunately, the game doesn't talk about torque or how much torque we're making, but torque gets you off the line, horsepower is top end. So there we go. As you see, my 0 to 60 dropped dramatically, and my 0 to 100 dropped pretty well too. So now we're going to start doing the rest of the stuff. Alignments, anti-sway bars, springs, all the fun stuff to make this car launch. Now you seen last time it launches to the left a little bit, and it launches hard actually. So you can't really complain about that too much. Now, final drive, you see here, I can increase first gear, second gear, which I'm going to play with a little bit just to see if I can get a faster 0 to 60. So if you just take your time and go a little at a time, write down your number you start off with. So if you start off first gear is at 2.98, for example, write that down, play with your numbers as you see it go up and down. This is the easiest way to explain how to tune for a drag car. So that way if you make a mistake, you can just go back to the number you started off with and then go down or increase more, whatever the case may be. So as you'll see, I'm dialing this in even more for 0 to 60. I believe, unfortunately I had to do a voiceover because all the talking in the background. I started off, my 0 to 60 was a 1.4 and a 3.0. After I did my tires, I got it down to a 1.378 and a 2.965. Now, after I have this dialed in, I'm going to drop it down to a 1.301 and a 2.85. So that's crazy. When you guys sit here and think about that, that's a huge increase 0 to 60. And that's with me just playing around with my first gear ratio now, my second. I've already done my final drive, so I'm not topping out towards the end because that's a big thing is your top end for that drag strip. Which, again, if I jump to the one at the festival, you're going to have to tune for the shorter strip, so you can actually take your final drive, raise it, and then go at your first and second gear and increase it a little bit so you can bang out of the hole and it will just be and you'll just go. So make sure you know that. Best bet is to have a couple of the same cars or a couple drag cars and favorite them or change the colors so you know which one you want per track. That way it gives you the advantage over the other people that have their car tuned for, say, the festival and then go to the longer track, and it's, you know, you're not topping out as fast or you're running out of your speed. So now we're going to do is your alignment for your drag car. Now, what I usually do is I'm setting it at 0. I don't care about camber. I don't care about toe. I don't care about any of that. 0 is a good spot for it all. You're going in a straight line. It's not going to affect my 0 to 60. It's not going to affect my top speed. keep that in mind. Now, if you're finding that you're launching and you're launching to the left, now that might help that situation, but I'm pretty sure you'll be fine. Springs, I want it stiff in the front, I want it soft in the rear. Why? I want all the power to transfer to the rear tires and launch out of the hole quick as can be. Ride height, I want it slammed to the ground. I want it to hook up. I know some people use rally suspension and put the front up higher and put the rear. You know, I'll demonstrate that in a different video. For this video, I'm going to leave it the way I just did it. Now, stiffness, same thing. Front stiff, rear not stiff. Why am I doing that? Is I want the power to transfer to the rear, and I want the car to launch out of the hole hard, which it's going to. I'm going to gain 0.06 of a millisecond, or hundredths of a second. I'm going to gain, right now at 1.36 for 0 to 60, and 2.946. I'm going to gain to a 1.301 and a 2.85 in 0 to 100. So I'm still going to gain a quick launching car, which is going to be crazy. Braking, I don't care at all. Downforce, you can play around with a little bit. You know, downforce will help a little bit. But sit here and play with it yourself. You see all the way down, it doesn't move. If I go up some, it doesn't move as well. I'm leaving my downforce alone. Now, so now we got our acceleration. Now this is an all-wheel drive conversion now. So what I want to do is I want to put most of my acceleration in the rear, not in the front. So as you see, I'm going to increase the acceleration in the rear because that's where I'm putting all my power as well. And I'm actually going down as well. Now, deceleration, I'm not worried about. It is a drag car. I don't got to stop. You don't got to stop. Balance, I'm going to play around with here. Now you see I'm at a 1.301. That is probably going to be my best. So I moved my acceleration to the rear a little bit. I'm going to just try a little farther just to see if it's going to hurt my 0 to 60 or if it's going to increase it. More than likely, it's not going to do too much more because I'm pretty well topped out. So I've turned this Gp Mclaren into a 1.301 0 to 60 miles per hour and a 2.853 for 0 to 100. That is a quick car, guys. Now it's time to save this tune. So if you guys are trying to find it, you can find it. And it's time to take it to the track and test this bad boy out. Is this going to be a car that's going to be able to compete against anyone else? Or is it going to be a flop? Now, there's some things I didn't show. There's reasons. I can't show you all my secrets. I'd like to be able to have my tune for myself. So I'm going to apply this setup, and we're going to take it back out to the track. Now, I'm going to say it one last time because for the final one, I did it at the other festival. The tracks are different, guys. So it's not as long. So I had this set up for the longer track, which obviously I'm going to smash out my time. But I can probably gain at least a second by turning my final drive up a little bit and playing with my gear ratio for second and third now because I have it set for the longer track. I'll do it another day to compare the two, but this gives you an idea. If you're looking for the tune, because I can, YT, or you can look for my name, my SRT, number 8, YOU. That way, if you guys want a Forza Horizon beast or a fast drag car, this is the way to go. There's not going to be many cars that's going to be able to compete with this, and it's going to launch hard. I'm going to show you, my estimate is it's going to be a low 7-second car, which should be the fastest drag car in the game. I know my Lamborghini on call out was a mid 7-second car, so between the two, this one should win. If you guys download my tune for the Lambo and you guys want to go against me in this one or vice versa, we'll do a race, we'll compare them, we'll see. Hard for me to do both at the same time. Now, we're back at here. We're going to test it out one more time at this track to see what the final numbers are. Before we ran 11.345, let's see what we finish it off at. This is the question. Did we really increase it that much? I think we did. Now it's time to tell. We are still fully automatic. We're leaving everything the way it should be just to see for easy comparison. You drop to manual, you can probably drop a second to a second and a half if you're good at standard. So keep that in mind. Also, guys, a lot of things play a factor here. Now, my Lambo, I like the automatic because it launches hard and it launches fast. But you can also shave off seconds by your first and second shift. So here we go. Let's see what we run. Out of the hole, it goes a little bit to the left, but it's still under control, and you see it takes a huge jump. The time is crazy. I don't know if I'm even going to top out. Let's see here. I'm not even topping out. So I crossed the finish line right at 239 miles an hour, and I ran 11.078. So I gained almost 3 full seconds on that run, guys, with my tune alone. That is pretty crazy. We can try it again just to see what will happen. Now, you see I jumped to the other track. I want to see how much faster it is compared to my Lambo on this track. As you see here, first place right away, which I kind of figured. And we ran 7.307. That is a quick car, guys. Keep that in mind. I'm pretty sure that, you know, if I adjust my final gear up a little bit, and I can lengthen my first and second or shorten my first and second, play around my first, second, and third gearing, I could probably be a 7.1 car. So I can gain a second out of this car. Jump to the last drag strip that it all started at. Let's see what we can hit for the quarter mile and see if we can improve our time. Now you got to remember our quarter mile started out at like 16 seconds. We'd had it down to 11. Now we have it tuned. Let's see what we get. Make sure this video took a long time. So this, guys, smash that like button. Hit subscribe, leave a comment to be entered into that $22 million giveaway this week because the money was rolled over from last week. Shout out to him for not wanting the money. So here we go. Long drag strip. I'm going to guess it's going to be a quick car, guys. Let's see if I top out. I'm not topping out. 241 miles an hour. I got that dialed right in. And my time is 11.944.044. It's hard for me to see on my screen because it's so small as I'm doing my voiceover. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one.